Australia, Puerto Rico. Seguimos aquí. ¡Ahora sí! De cuando te tuve, debí darte más besos y abrazos.
Here's something that most people probably missed from Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance a few minutes ago. The little boy who he handed his Grammy to was supposed to represent Liam Ramos, the 5-year-old little boy who ICE took away from his family a few weeks ago in Minneapolis. What an incredible message.
Bad Bunny owned the Super Bowl, while MAGA, Turning Point USA, Donald Trump, and all the racists had their pathetic, humiliating meltdown. And to all the pieces of shit who say Puerto Ricans are not American, this show showed the entire world this is America.
No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, 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 no KKK, no fascist USA.
And this goes out to all the ICE agents out wherever you are. Quit your shitty ass job. Because when this is over, and it will be over at some point in time, Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, they're gonna drop you like a bad fucking habit.
What'd you think of halftime?
Oh, Benita was unbelievable. Loose, happy, made everybody ecstatic. I loved it. And congrats to the bunny. He's a great human being.
Awesome. Fly safe.
Love you. Get home.
Some news right now, the numbers for viewers for the Turning Point USA Alternative Halftime Show versus the Bad Bunny Halftime Show have rolled in, and well, they're not great for Turning Point USA. According to The Independent, the Turning Point USA Halftime Show had anywhere between 4 to 6 million viewers total during the show. In comparison, Bad Bunny's audience exceeded 128 million, so way more than 10x what Turning Point USA had. Now, TPUSA's show did eventually get up to 18 million views, but that's because people were actually just curious as to what the hell happened. And well, we now know that the show was actually pre-recorded, according to Variety, and Kid Rock was lip-singing throughout most of the show. In person, during the pre-recording session, they had several hundred people there. That's for the TPUSA. That's a far cry from the stadium that Bad Bunny performed in. All in all, I think the real story from last night's performances was that people just watched Bad Bunny and that there was really no need for this alternative halftime show. Spread the word, follow for more.
After years of being kept apart, we're standing together.
Standing together.
Because this girl deserves the truth.
Because she deserves the truth.
Because we all deserve the truth.
Do you have anything to add, Andy?
I'll just add one thing that the attorney for Ms. Maxwell said that she has no indication and would say that neither Presidents Trump or Clinton are culpable for any wrongdoing. And that's one thing they said in his opening statement to us today.
The fact that Andy Biggs walked out of that room and delivered the message that Ghislaine Maxwell wanted was exactly what she wanted to send to Donald Trump. Clearly, he was acting as her messenger. because we were told explicitly to not repeat things that were said in that room. It's very clear she's campaigning for clemency, and it's very clear that Mr. Biggs delivered the message to Donald Trump.
President Trump and his allies are lashing out at athletes on Team USA in the Olympics. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Kyle Clark. The criticism, even calls to block those athletes from competing, came after Olympians talked about what it is like representing the U.S. at a time of turmoil and violence in America's streets, including comments from Colorado's Michaela Schifrin.
I'm really hoping to show up and represent my own values, values of inclusivity, values of diversity and kindness and sharing.
Colorado's Michaela Schifrin carefully chose her words in support of diversity and inclusion, which President Trump has labeled radical and immoral.
And my greatest hope for this Olympic Games, from a broader perspective, is that it is a beautiful show of cooperation and of competition.
The online reaction from Trump supporters to Schifrin and other Olympians was swift.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think.
And when skier Hunter Hess said this,
just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S.
President Trump himself lashed out, calling the Olympian a real loser and saying he shouldn't have tried out for Team USA. Skier Svi Irving from Colorado said this.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough time in our country right now, and I think I just continue to represent my values, which is compassion and respect and love for others.
Figure skater Amber Glenn says she got a scary amount of hate and threats after this comment.
It's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration.
As increasing numbers of American Olympians continue the generations-old tradition of using their platform to send a message.
Feel heartbroken about what's happened in the United States.
Even if it now means potentially being targeted by the president himself.
I think that as a country, we need to focus on respecting everybody's rights and making sure that we're treating our citizens as well as anybody with love and respect. And I hope that when people look at athletes compete in the Olympics, they realize that that's the America that we're trying to represent.
Parents being immigrants, this one definitely hits pretty close to home. And I think in moments like these, it is really important for us to unite and kind of stand up for one another, for all that's going on. And I think that I'm really proud to represent the United States. The U.S. has given my family and I so much opportunity, but I also think that we are allowed to voice our opinions on what's going on. And I think that we need to lead with love and compassion. And I would love to see some more of that.
The scale of senators, probably one of the more unpopular senators, but Texas is still a red. Here's what I would say.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
I was trying to get this last bite done. Anyhow, testing, 1, 2, 3. How's the audio? I'm not using the microphone right now. Let's see. Testing, 1, 2, 3. How's the audio? I'm not using the. Okay, sounds okay. It's a little echoey. I forgot to plug in the microphone to charge it. Forgot to plug it in, so I forgot. It's been sitting here on this little table for 2 days, and I forgot. And the intro was short, so usually I'm done eating by now because I usually have a 20-minute intro. Today it was only about a 10-minute intro. So I'm still eating. And my coffee's not done yet. I've got to go get my coffee. It just finished brewing. But other than that, everything's going rosy. Here it is, 11:29 a.m. Pacific time zone here in the beautiful Pacific time zone. And it's, what's our temperature now? 67 degrees, looks like. Going to be 72 today. We're having spring-like weather conditions during the day. Gets a little nippy at night. 47 overnight, says here. But just beautiful spring-like weather right now. Global warming be damned. We're just gonna eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow we die. Anyhow, thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. This day after the Super Bowl. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl? Did you guys? Okay, we probably have 4 camps here. The camp where, no, I don't watch sports. I hate sports. I don't watch sports. Sports is stupid. I only play sports. I don't watch sports. Sports bad. It's bad. We got that camp. Then we've got the other camp, probably football fans, maybe 2 or 3 of you football fans. You're like, yeah, I watch it because I like football. And then you've got I only watched it for the commercials, and then I only watched it for the halftime show. So I guess that's 4 groups. And I bet you our biggest group is probably group 4. I only watch it for the halftime show. And the second biggest group is probably, I only watch it for the commercials. So what am I going to do with you guys? What am I going to do with you guys? Jolie says, I watched the halftime show and the second half of the game. Well, there you go. You might as well, at that point, you might as well just keep the TV on and watch the second half of the game, I guess. Anyhow, I see Sandy Foltz is here first in the chat. Sandy Foltz is very proud of that. And we're glad to have you. But Sandy says the game and the halftime show had sucked at the Super Bowl yesterday. That's right. Sandy was rooting for the Patriots. So, yeah, and the Patriots looked really pathetic. And Sandy did not like the halftime show for some reason. Okay, well, I guess it's not for everyone. I guess it's not everyone's cup of tea. I liked it. I've been critical, I guess somewhat critical. I'm not really critical of halftime shows. My thing is when I say I don't give a shit, I'm saying I don't give a shit about the halftime show. It's because that's not what's drawing me to the thing. I like to watch the Super Bowl because, like I said before, I like to watch. I'm a football fan, and I'm there for the football game. But having said that, I think yesterday's halftime show was probably the most awesome halftime show I've ever seen for Super Bowl. I mean, it was really amazing. Even though I didn't understand hardly a word that was being said, you could see the production value, the choreography, the enthusiasm, just this sort of positive message was coming through about being Americans, and we're all Americans, and in all different sizes and shapes and colors, and so I really loved it. I thought it was really great. Anyhow, Paul Burrows was here. I don't know if Paul Burrows is still here or not, but Paul says, I was building a cat pen. Oh, that's right. Paul's been trying to herd cats. So I didn't watch the Seahawks win. Told you, TJ. Well, I mean, I never said. In fact, I even picked the Seahawks, so I don't know what you're talking about this "told you" thing. John Glad, I guess, is here. Did I skip John Glad? Oh yeah, there's John Glad. Hey, always glad to see John Glad. Nola Carnes is here. Hey, Nola, thanks for coming on in. Was it fixed, Nola? Was it all fixed? I'm hearing noises outside. Oh yeah, let's fill the blank space there next to my. There's two blank spaces. No, here was the message that was seen. During the performance there at the end, and this is a meme. Also, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Bad Bunny. And amen, brother, amen. The best way to combat hate is with love, not with more hate. I think that was a great message. From apparently, I didn't even know Bad Bunny's name. Apparently his name is Benito. I didn't even know that. That's how stupid I am and uninformed I am. Alton Gillespie's here from Mason, Texas today. I think you're switching towns. And weren't you from London, Texas or something? There's Alton Gillespie. Thanks for coming on in. Mountain Bike Fan is here. Says, I turned in just in time for the halftime show. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Mountain Bike, oh brother, Barf Kid Rock. Well, that was the idea, to show how nauseatingly, grotesque that show over there was. The TPUSA alternative, which was a total bust. And by the way, what's Parness's name? Aaron Parness? It's lip syncing, not lip singing. Please. You Gen Zers or whatever, please. It's lip syncing, not lip singing. For Christ's sake. DPD says the ad was very powerful and I stand with the survivors. Yeah, that was a powerful ad. That really it hits me every time to see them holding pictures of themselves when they were so young, and that's when they were being SA'd, as we have to say, I guess, in order to not get demonetized, I guess. Jolie's here. Hello, Jolie. Thanks for coming on in. I guess Jolie has plenty of spare time now. It's good for us because now we get more of Jolie, but it's, I don't know if it's good for Jolie. I wish that job had worked out for you. It seemed like on one hand you really enjoyed it and liked it, but then there was a seating issue. There was a seat cushion issue or something that just wasn't made it untenable. It made your employment there untenable. Did I say hi to DPD? I read something. I read one of DPD's posts. I'm not sure if I said hello to DPD. So hello, DPD 5844. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. DPD 5844 says some of the athletes have had to turn off their messages because they are receiving death threats. And of course they are, because that's the way these maggot Jan Sixers are. They're just hateful and violent. And if they can't get things their way, or they see something that they don't like. We don't like brown-skinned people singing in Spanish. And in the case of the athletes, we don't like them not, marching in lockstep with the Mein Führer, Donald Trump. God forbid, you might say maybe, you don't agree with some things. And so they're going to start throwing death threats around. They're just disgusting people, disgusting people. These maggots and J6ers and white nationalists, just disgusting. Jolie says crazy that their statements are of love and respect, and MAGA sends them death threats. Yeah, I've seen them close up. Like I said, I went to the Trump rally in Vegas, one of them, and I've seen them close up. I've seen old grandmas get in my face and just screaming and like their veins popping out of their neck just because I dared to have a different opinion than them. Just because I dared to express the slightest amount of disagreement with dear Trump, dear leader. There's talk about derangement. They are the ones that are really truly deranged. DPD says, imagine training your whole life for this moment only to have your life threatened by your own fucking country. That angers me. It should bother everyone. It bothers me. And it maybe even angers me a little too. Maybe even more than a little. Sandy Foltz for the $2 super sticker. Thank you, Sandy. Yippee. Going out to Sandy. Thank you so much. We got a thumbs up and a heart. Anna Moore's here. Hello, Anna Moore. Good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. DPD sounds great. Yeah, it sounds okay. I know most of you guys probably don't even notice the difference, or it's no big deal. DPD sounds great. It's just a little echoey. The difference between that and the regular microphone, but I was kind of worried about using the mic on the phone today because I noticed I tried to do a live stream from the car, or I did one the other day, and you know how I like to play the music when I'm in the car, and it's just something I like to do. I don't know if you guys like it or not, but I like to do it. And it seemed like the music had always worked fine. It recorded fine. But that last one I did was totally not even listenable. It was like all totally fucked up. And so I didn't know if I wasn't sure if there was something wrong with the microphone on my phone. Or, because I know I've been getting like copyright claims for those when I do those. So I don't know if maybe YouTube was just preemptively doing something to the music. I don't know. So I wasn't sure what was going on. But at least now I know my microphone is good because the sound is good. It's not the microphone. So there's something either interfering in the car now for some reason that didn't do it before, or it's something from YouTube. Maybe they're blocking music. Like, preemptively, which is weird. They never did that before. Anyhow, Sandy says the halftime show had really sucked. Okay, you already said that. But maybe you thought I didn't see it, but because that was a very early post. But we've seen your opinion about the halftime show and the Super Bowl. You didn't like either because you were rooting for the Patriots, and I'm not sure why you don't like the halftime show though. I don't know about that one. Jolie says, I watched the halftime show I already read that one, yeah, in the second half of the game. Petrazi 1920 is here. Hello, Petrazi. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on in. Out to the chat room. DPD says, congrats to Seahawks. I won? Congrats to Seahawks. I won. My throat is raw yet again. So did you bet, or you had a bet on it? You know, the halftime show was phenomenal. Props to Bad Bunny, Lady Gaga, and Ricky Martin. Was that Ricky Martin? I didn't know who that other dude was. Was that Ricky Martin? I didn't even know who he was. I was like, well, here's another dude. I knew who Lady Gaga was. I was like, oh, cool, Lady Gaga. And Lady Gaga, she knocked it out of the park. She was great. And I loved seeing her and Bad Bunny dancing. You know, they looked so happy, and everything just looked happy and just joyous and everything. I really loved that. That's what I loved about it. Yeah, I didn't know who the other dude was. I was like, oh, here's some other Latin dude. Yeah, that's how uninformed I am, I guess. Petrazi 1920, I like the halftime show. The Sugar Canes and the New York Streets was and the message was cool. Yeah, it was cool. All the little the barber shops and all that kind of stuff, and the markets and everything. Said it again. I thought it sucked. Terrible show. Okay, that's 3 times now you've told us, and we get it. We get it. You didn't like it. It was terrible. Now we don't know why you didn't like it. It's just that you just thought it was terrible, but we don't know why. Maybe instead of just saying it's terrible 3 times, maybe tell us why you thought it was terrible. You know. Jolie says, my oldest daughter is fluent in Spanish. I was so jealous of that yesterday. That production was amazing, though. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I did too. Surprisingly, I wasn't sure what. I mean, I knew it was going to be Bad Bunny. I knew it was going to be. He's a Spanish language artist. You know, he does his music in Spanish language. So I knew it was going to be all in Spanish, but I didn't know really what to expect. Like I said, I'm not a big Bad Bunny fan. I mean, I'm a fan now of the guy. I think he looks like a really great guy. A really, really trying to promote just equality and equal rights and civil rights, in a way, in a roundabout way, and but I don't know anything about really his music or whatever. So I just knew it was going to be Spanish language music. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I guess when you go in either with low, not that I had low expectations, but just not really knowing or having a clue, and then you see that, it was like, wow, that was really something. Centerfold says Diggs may be going to prison. It depends on his court date. Oh, Stephon Diggs? Yeah, I barely even remember what was going on there with that, or what happened. But John Glenn says never heard of Bad Bunny till yesterday. Really? I mean, I never really heard of him until about 3 years ago. Like I said, and that was just because I was doing rideshare here in Vegas, and there was this dude named Bad Bunny playing at Allegiant Stadium, and was getting crowds as big as Beyonce and Taylor Swift, and I was like, "Wow, who's this Bad Bunny dude?" Very, very popular, especially with the Latino crowd, Latina or Latinx. Is that what maybe we're supposed to say? I don't know, but very, very popular. But like I said, I've never really listened to his music, and I'm not going to start listening to his music. I mean, it's not really my type of music, but for the Super Bowl show, it was awesome. I can stand it for the Super Bowl show, but I'm not going to be putting it on my any sort of music playlist anytime soon, because I just I'm still going to stick with I don't know, Ozzy and Van Halen, okay, and Bruce. Anyhow, Petrozzi 1920 says TPUSA, or someone said it should be pronounced T-Pousse. T-Pousse wasn't even live. It was pre-recorded. Yeah, it was pre-recorded, and it still came out like crap. I didn't, I just saw the little clips of it. I did not go and watch it, but I saw little clips of it, and of course we played in the intro of the clip with Kid Rock apparently not knowing how to lip sync, or not remembering the words to his song, and really probably not doing any rehearsals. He's just like, just going out there. Robert Perez, hey, good to see you. Good old Robert Perez from down San Diego way. Hey, thanks for being here. Robert says, yo trucker. Groovy day to you, senor, and big buenos dias to all the trucklers out and about. Jolie says, I did like it. My butt and back did not. Oh, man, that's just unfortunate. It's the first sit-all-day job I've had, and I can't do it. See, it would probably be perfect for me, because I've done nothing but sit on my ass for about the last quarter century. Bill Card says, hi, Sir William. Luck Dragon's here. Hey, Luck Dragon. I thought the little boy that had Bunny, that Bad Bunny gave his Grammy to was Liam Ramos, the 5-year-old that ICE kidnapped, but I was wrong. No, but he was representing that. They got. I mean, it would have been cool if they could have flown in Liam and brought him in for that, and that would have been really cool. But you know, apparently, you know, they brought in a lookalike, but he was representing Liam. So there you go. I'm gonna go get my coffee, guys. You guys don't mind, do you? You guys don't mind if I go get my coffee? Let's see. Sandy Fold says this Bad Bunny guy really, really had sucked. The whole performance was terrible. The NFL always has a good singer and good performance, but this guy does not speak English. No, duh, Sandy. Actually, you know what? I'm sure he does speak English. Or at least, you know. But Spanish is obviously his first language, but I think he does speak English. But he is a Latin performer, and he sings his songs in Spanish. And he's huge. He just won 4 Grammys. I mean, you know, not that means everything. I mean, just because someone wins Grammys, I'm sure there are lots of people that win Grammys that I don't care to listen to. And you're entitled to like who you like, and you know, you can like them. You can like me. Like I just said, I don't think I'm going to start listening to Bad Bunny and put it on my playlist. It just isn't my type of music. But for the halftime show, I thought it was great because it was a show. It was a performance. It was almost like some parts of it. Not that I'm a big West Side Story fan, because I never really liked that show either. I mean, that movie. Because it just seemed really kind of silly and everything. But the parts of it that reminded me of West Side Story. And West Side Story is a classic Broadway play. And, of course, it's sort of a take, I guess, on Romeo and Juliet, you know, but it's about, you know, New York City and about, I think they were Puerto Ricans, right? And living in New York City and stuff. But so part of it kind of had this sort of West Side Story kind of thing to it. And again, I'm not really a fan of that type of music and stuff like that, but for a halftime show, I could watch 15, 20 minutes of it. You know, I could live. And I thought it was a great show. I know I'm not verbalizing it probably right, but like where on the one hand, it's not my type of music. I'm not gonna start buying a bunch of Bad Bunny CDs or download the music or whatever. I'm not gonna play radio stations that play Bad Bunny. That's, you know, because that's not my type of music. But I still think it was a great show, great performance, great sentiment, great message, and I think I totally get why he is so popular, because I think he's very, very talented. I think he's very talented. So, anyhow, let me go get my coffee real quick. So you guys talk amongst yourselves real quick. I just wonder if I'll leave that meme up there. I just want to go grab my coffee. All right? I'll be right back. I shall return. I guess I could keep talking while I'm over here. Okay, I'm over to the kitchen. I'm getting my cup out. Alrighty. Looks like it brewed this time. It actually went through the filter instead of just staying stuck in the filter. I'm going to put a little bit of non-dairy creamer and some sugar in the coffee, as I am wont to do. There's that. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but I can hear some music playing. That's stuff you usually doesn't pick up If I'm using the other microphone too, by the way. All right, I'm back. So I guess I'm going to. I've had the mic on the charger for probably at least a half an hour now. But I guess I'll just go without that for now. I don't know if it's good enough. Hopefully it's good enough. Anyhow, let's see. Luck Dragon says, people on the internet were saying it was Liam Ramos. I fell for it. It did look a lot like him, but it looked like he was a little bit older, you know. But he did it looked just like him, though. Sandy Foltz says, the Puppy Bowl halftime was much better than Bad Bunny. Well, you know, hey, to each their own. And I'm sure those puppies were cute. I mean, you know, who doesn't love a puppy? They should do, like, Puppies versus Kitty Bowl or something. That would be just too much adorableness, probably. Love Dragon says, the Puppy Bowl got better ratings than Kid Rock. I'm sure it did. I would definitely watch the Puppy Bowl over Kid Rock any day. John Glad, never heard of the Puppy Bowl. John Glad, you haven't heard of a lot of things. The Puppy Bowl has been going on, I think, for like 20 years now. Lug Dragon, Nola Carnes, by the way, I'm a man? I don't know, are you? Lug Dragon, are you a man? With the question mark? If anyone should know, it would be you. Sandy Fold says, how can you understand someone who does not speak English? Well, if you can speak their language. Oh, that was hot coffee. I just burned my tongue. Anamore says, TJ, what happened to the Patriots last night? I thought they played a great game against the Bills, and they did not look like the same guys. They ran into really a kick-ass defense. The Seattle defense is pretty awesome. That might be one of the best defenses I've seen in the Super Bowl in I don't know how long. That defensive performance was pretty good. And plus, yeah, I guess they look good against the Bills, but you know, Drake May is a rookie. I think the Super Bowl, maybe it was just a little too much for him, you know? I mean, the Super Bowl is a big deal, and he's like a rookie, so, or maybe this is the second year or whatever it was, but still a really young guy. I think he was like the youngest quarterback ever or something to be in the Super Bowl. So it might have just been a little overwhelming for him. He looked a little out of sorts, but he was getting hammered. So was Sam Darnold, by the way, though. He was getting hammered by the Patriots defense. But the difference was, you know, Sam Darnold is a veteran and he's been around and he can, he's really learned how to, you know, perform under pressure like that. So that's probably what it came down to. You had a veteran quarterback versus a very young quarterback. They were both getting pressured and getting hit and knocked around and beat up all game long, and you saw the veteran be able to withstand that, and the I don't want to call him a rookie because I forget if this I think this might be his second year, but anyhow, he's a really young quarterback, and you can see the difference. So maybe if they come back, the Patriots, and he's the quarterback, it might be a whole different ball game in terms of his experience and stuff. Oh man, this is too hot. Billy Kidd says Seattle was celebrating hard. It was cool to watch. Petrology says if you don't understand, listen to rhythm instead. I didn't even care about if I couldn't understand it. I was just enjoying it. I was just enjoying the attitude of it, you know. Robert Perez, I don't have cable TV, so I didn't watch any of the game. Could have went down to the local watering hole. DPD says, yes, it was Ricky Martin, and yes, TJ, I bet on the game first time with DraftKings and won. Wow. Did you win big? Billy Kidd, Bad Bunny just isn't my kind of music. Mine either. Billy Kidd. I still loved it. I was going to include a clip, but now I wish I would have. There was a clip of all the performers coming out like right off the field, and then they were like going right out of the stadium. I guess I don't know wherever they were going, but they were coming down through the stadium and out to the concourse. Maybe, I don't know. And you could just see they were so pumped up and jazzed and exhilarated and happy. And that was infectious, you know. It was at least maybe for me, maybe some of you cold-hearted monsters, maybe it didn't affect you. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Anamor says. T-Poussé exists solely to grift its subscribers and to incite racism. Yeah, it was more grifting. Absolutely, more grifting. Sandy Foltz wants to know, did anybody in the chat watch the Puppy Bowl? Now, I did not. Over the years, I've seen little clips of it here and there, and I've always thought, oh, it's so adorable, so cute, but I don't think I've ever turned over to the Puppy Bowl during the Super Bowl, you know. Petrology says Billie Eilish wins Grammys, and I particularly don't like her music. Like I said, I even said that. It's exactly what I said. There's lots of people that won Grammys that I don't necessarily like. Now, I do like Billie Eilish. I need to stop doing that. For some reason, I always call her Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish. I do like her music. William says, I have Fire Stick. It's a pretty good deal. Is that what I have? There's like I have a TV I have this Insignia TV, and it's got Fire. I think it's Fire something. I think I have a Fire Stick TV. I don't know. Nola Cars, how come I can't see Sandy Foltz? I don't know. I have no idea. Danny Pomeroy's here. What happened to John making breakfast? What do you mean, what happened to me making breakfast? Was I supposed to make breakfast? I had breakfast already. I was eating during the intro. I just wolfed down a Jimmy Dean sausage, egg, and biscuit sandwich. DPD says they do have a puppy and kitten bowl. Oh, well, there you go. I'm sure it's very adorable. Yeah, Billy Good says Seattle defense was too much for them. Hats off to the past defense holding Hawks to mostly field goals. Yeah, it's pretty much what I just said. The Seattle defense was amazing. Probably, like I said, that might have been one of the most amazing defensive performances I've seen in the Super Bowl. But yeah, the Pats, they were in the game all the way till what? Somewhere when they finally scored when Seattle finally scored a touchdown. Was it late in the third quarter or whatever it was? And then that kind of, really broke it open. And then and the Pats, they finally got a score. They finally got one. Just barely. And, I mean, it looked like that ball touched the ground, but they gave it to him anyhow. But Danny Primer, I canceled cable 13 years ago. Rabbit 6 foot by 10, now 23 channels free. Why pay for fake news? Because it gets me the Super Bowl. Really, I have cable, but I think the only reason I switch over from watching the internet streaming stuff is just to go to cable, because there's still a lot of stuff, sporting things that you can't really get on YouTube or whatever. Maybe you could, but I'm not spending. YouTube TV is expensive, I think. Isn't it like $90 a month or something? I can get Cox cable that includes Wi-Fi. So I get Wi-Fi with cable for $30 a month. And literally, about the only thing I watch on cable is either football or baseball games. And then most of the time, I did get the YouTube Sunday Ticket, which is a really, really good thing, because I got Red Zone, and then you get all the out-of-market games. And that way, since I'm out of market from LA, I can get most of the LA games, the Ram games, Rams. Well, DVD, I won bigly, first time bet. Well, that's awesome. Sandy, I blocked her, Luck Dragon. Oh, are we talking about Nola? For some reason. Hey, who you guys block? That's up to you, man. Noel Carter says, one of the ladies on CNN took a puppy home. Aw. Yeah, they're just so cute and adorable. You know, you can't help but take one home with you. You know. Billy Kid says, I have the best device for all streaming. It's called a VC box. $300 for everything, even movies that are still at the theaters, all 100% legal. Yeah, right. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yeah, it's legal. Okay, whatever you say, Billy Kid. Was that Billy Kid? Yeah. Whatever you say. Okay, so we got this. I found this meme here. I like this one. Bad Bunny's halftime show breaks record with over 5.4 million viewers. Oops. Let's get me zoomed out. So there you go. Bad Bunny, very successful show. You don't have to like it. We still have certain freedoms here, and so you don't have to like it if you don't want to like it. But don't, don't be surprised if you face a little criticism if the only reason you didn't like it is because he just spoke Spanish. I mean, so what? I guess I'm just, I grew up in California. I grew up around a lot of Latino folks. I've heard people speaking Spanish, all around me, all my life. So it doesn't bother me. Maybe for some people it bothers them. I don't know. I'm not sure why though. People speaking foreign languages does not really bother me. Oh, I didn't hear this. Is this Savannah Guthrie's mom you're talking about? It says that lady Nancy was missing, was found dead in a manhole by her home. It was just confirmed. Oh my gosh. I did not hear about that. Yeah, I did not. I didn't hear. Wow. That is so sad, man. That really is sad. So, let me just look this up real quick. This says, for some reason my eye is watering. I'm just looking at Google. I got CNN from 2 hours ago. They hadn't said anything. So mine hasn't updated. Oh, wait. Let's see. No. So far, I'm not seeing anything about her being found dead. As of 2 hours ago, she was still missing. You said that just came in. For some reason, I don't know why mine is me see if I can refresh this or something. I'm still seeing 1 hour ago, second ransom deadline nears for Savannah Guthrie's mother. 6 minutes ago, search for Savannah Guthrie's mother enters second week. That was 6 minutes ago. From NBC News. I'm not seeing anything about they found her dead in a manhole. They're just saying it's entering the second week. I don't know why my eyes watering, by the way. So anyhow, I don't know, Sandy. I'm not seeing it on there. But we'll keep an eye on that. Billy Kid says, I'm not joking, it's 100% legal. Google it. All right, what's it called? VC? The VC best thing, 2,500 live channels. VC box. Okay, all right. The VC box. Barbara Nicholas says Trucker Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches on maple pancakes is also a good one. You know what? I didn't get those. I saw those in the store and I was looking at them and I didn't get one. I didn't get a box of them. Maybe next time. Next time I go shopping, I'll get some of those. Petrozzi says, I'm reading about it. It looks pretty cool. I never heard of VC before. DPD says, I bet on the winner who would score the first TD and which team would gain the most yards. My dad helped me, not to mention I was rooting for the Seahawks. Petrozzi says, I grew up in LA County, Spanish speakers everywhere. Yeah. One time I was getting some tacos off a taco truck down in LA, in the heart of LA. And the lady said, do you speak Spanish? And I said, no. She said, why not? And I said, well, I've tried. I took Spanish twice I took it in junior high and then I took it in high school and I barely got D's both times. I barely got a D. I almost got an F. I was lucky to get a D. So I'm sorry. Some people are just good at learning languages. I guess I'm not one of them. And she said, okay. What do you want on your tacos? Or how many tacos do you want? And I'm like, carne asada? She's like, see, you speak Spanish? I'm like, well, yeah, I know how to say carne asada. Carne asada, por favor. My tacos. One time I had a Mexican, he's a Mexican-American guy that I worked with. And he told me that if you try to speak Spanish to a bunch of Mexican dudes, they're just going to laugh at you. You know, like if you don't know, if you're not really good at it. He goes, they're just going to fucking laugh at you and think you're a fool. So I'm like, I took that to heart. I'm like, this is a Mexican guy telling me that. So maybe I shouldn't even bother. I don't know. I don't want people to just laugh at me and think I'm a fool. That's what happens every day on this show. People laugh at me and think I'm a fool. So why stop now? Robert Nicholas, I have had the news on all day. Didn't see any confirmation of the mother being found. Yeah, I had from NBC News as of 6 minutes ago, and they didn't have it on there. Danny Pomeroy says, does anybody know the single military jet that flew? Oh, I saw that jet. I was like, what was that? Danny Pomeroy, does anybody know the single military jet that flew over after the group of fighter jets? I believe that was the newest military bomber jet. I saw that, and I was like, what was that? It did kind of remind me of a B-1 bomber, kind of, but I don't know. Yeah, it must have been something new. But I saw that, I did the same thing when I saw that fly over, and I was like, what was that? Would it be nice if maybe the fucking announcers would do their jobs and say what it was, but anyhow. Cityful says, check YouTube. Well, you know what? In this particular case, I think I might trust NBC News more than YouTube. But anyhow, yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, we'll find out when we find out. It's a horrible story, if that's true. We're always hoping that people get found alive and well, and when it doesn't turn out that way, then it's very sad. Love Dragon says, I'm watching the Olympics on NBC right now, and they have not said anything about Nancy dying, and I know they would have skipped to breaking news. Weird. Anyhow, all right. Victor Harshman says, VC Box hardware is legal. Viewing any paid content is not. Aha. Dragon Box paid $14 million, not to be confused with Luck Dragon. Dragon Box paid $14 million in a lawsuit last year for allowing access for paid content. Aha. So you can have the box, you just can't watch anything on it legally. Apparently. I don't know. I'm sticking with my Cox. That did not sound right. But I'm sticking with my Cox. $30 a month, Wi-Fi, and basic cable. All right? Really, the only thing I watch the cable for is football and baseball games. But I think it's worth it. Fancy $2 super stick. Hey, Fancy, yippee to you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Fancy's here. Guys, check out Fancy's channel. She has all kinds of cool videos that she makes, very musical and featuring lots of folks that are sometimes in these chat rooms, you know, are in those. So check out Fancy. Fancy. Luck Dragon, B-1B Lancer Bomber. Is that what that was? Yeah. I guess the B-1B's been around a long time. I guess I just hadn't seen one in so long. And with the wings, you know, extended out or like that. I think that's kind of what it looked like. Because I think those wings move. I think they can slide them back or whatever. But anyhow, it was kind of cool to see. I hadn't seen a B-1B in forever. Petrology, stick with Cox. Oh. Speaking of Cox, no, there. So I'm caught up, guys. I caught up with the chat. So show's over. Thanks very much. I'm out of here. Good night. Okay, let's see. I got a couple more memes. Here's this one here. Sort of celebrating the fact that the owner of the Seahawks is a woman, and she hates Donald Trump. That makes it better. Now, of course, I was finding it very difficult. In fact, during the whole game, I didn't root for the Seahawks. I didn't root for the Patriots. I don't like either team, but it is nice that she won, because Robert Kraft on the other side is a Trumper. He's a Trumpanzee, Robert Kraft, and is Robert Kraft in the Epstein files? He's probably in the Epstein files. I don't remember now. So, you know, that's another reason to to want the Seahawks, but I just find it personally hard to root for the Seahawks, since they're the team that kept my team out of the Super Bowl. And really, if you look at the way the Seahawks in Week 16, the way they came back and beat the Rams, at that moment, I didn't want to say anything because I'm rooting for my Rams, but I knew that was like a really big turning point for the Seahawks, and it was kind of like I could kind of feel them becoming this sort of team of destiny at that moment. At Week 16, the Rams had I believe it was a 14-point lead, or was it 16? 14 or 16-point lead. I guess it was 14, with just over 8 minutes to go in the game. So it's fourth quarter. I think it was like 8:01 to go, and the Seahawks, they run back a punt return all the way to the house for a touchdown. Then they go and they score another touchdown, and they end up tying the game, go to overtime, and they beat the Rams in overtime. And from that moment onward, I mean, the Seahawks were having a good season before that, of course, obviously. But from that moment on, you kind of felt like this was a team of destiny. And you could just see Sam Darnold, who had issues, especially against the Rams, with turnovers and throwing interceptions and getting rattled. Really, like they were saying, it was hearing ghosts, or they used to call it hearing footsteps. But now I guess it's seeing ghosts, or whatever that is the terminology. But where he would get happy feet, or he would get nervous with any type of pressure. But prior to that game, that was sort of the knock against him, and it kind of bore out, especially against the Rams, because the Rams had beat him in the playoffs last year when he was on the Vikings, and he threw a lot of picks and looked really bad. But in that Week 16, you could just see that after that game, this was a different Sam Darnold. I saw him go and do the interview. You know how they do on the field? They've got the panel, and you could just see this was like a Sam Darnold I had never seen before. I mean, it was like the difference was like between night and day. His confidence level, the way he walked up to that panel, sticking his chest out. And I don't mean this I don't mean that as a knock either. I mean, it was just, you could see that victory coming back against the Rams, who had been in previous games and really knocked him around and beat him badly, and then he was able to lead a comeback and beat the Rams in Week 16. This isn't even counting the playoffs. I saw the difference there, and I was like, this might be one of those team of destiny type of things. But of course, I'm still rooting for the Rams. I'm not giving up on my Rams, and I still think the Rams, when it came to the playoff game, the NFC Championship game, the Rams really were just that one. I mean, and I know you can say, well, there's this, there's that, there's more than just one play that makes up the thing, and blah blah blah. But I'm still going to hold fast to the fact that our punt returner, an NFL punt returner who gets paid lots of money to return punts, couldn't catch the fucking ball and muff the ball. I think within inside the 10-yard line, and set up a really, really super easy touchdown for the for the Seahawks. And I don't know why I said Saints. And that was late in the third quarter, I think, and that really, from then on, all the momentum shifted to the Seahawks in that NFC Championship game from that moment onward. So it came down to, I think, two key things for the Seahawks. Week 16, coming back against the Rams, 14 points down with 8 minutes to go, and Sam Darnold really becoming a whole new person out of that game. I think a whole new quarterback out of that experience. And then NFC Championship, these two teams just really kind of slugging it out, man, going back and forth, slugging it out, knocking each other out. But then that muffed kick was the difference, and that's what lost it for the Rams. And the Seahawks just rode in on that high that they had probably all season, but I think especially since week 16 and then that NFC Championship game, they were on a high, and I'm not putting down the Seahawks. They're a great team. They deserve to be champions, and they deserve to be called the best team in the NFL. They earned it yesterday on the field. They earned it, and their defense, is scary defense, because they've got a front four that can get the job done, so they don't need to bring extra people on the line, and then they've got all those DBs back there, and they've got some DBs that can cover. So, yeah, Seahawks were good, really, really good, and outstanding, as a matter of fact. Not just good. I mean, they were outstanding. And like I said, they have a defense that's second to none, and they have a quarterback now that has been through enough. It has so much experience, and he knows how to now really handle pressure. So they're going to be formidable, and they're going to be tough to beat next year too. So we'll see how it goes. All right, enough football talk. I know I probably lost the entire audience, other than maybe one or two of you, with the football talk. Billy Kidd says, Victor Harshman, yes, because Dragon Box is a paid gaming series. Them charging to see the content is what makes it illegal. Alrighty. All right, well, if anyone has a spare $300 laying around, you want to get one of those VC boxes, maybe that's the way to go. You can get all kinds of movies and TV shows, and I guess that's just a one-time fee, the $300, and then from then on out, I guess it's free, right? Bob LeBlanc is here. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Bob LeBlanc says, I judge a Mexican food joint on its refried beans and chili rellenos. Yeah. Can you tell the difference if they make their own refried beans or if it's right out of the can? Look, Dragon says, my girlfriend also judges Mexican restaurants on their chili rellenos. Personally, I'm not a big fan. I like a chili relleno every now and then. I don't get them that often. I'm usually more tacos, burritos kind of guy. Maybe an enchilada every now and then, But every now and then I'll get a chili relleno. I know my dad always, he used to like chili relleno a lot. It seems like whenever we went to a Mexican restaurant, that was my dad's go-to, was chili relleno. And so every now and then I'll get a chili relleno, and I like it. But, probably sometimes I'll go years without, between ordering one. So I'm pretty much, I like tacos. I like tacos a lot. I feel like that needs to be lowered, but I don't know. I really do I like tacos, and I like burritos. But like I said, an occasional enchilada. Sometimes some sizzling steak fajitas, DPD says YouTube TV is offering a free trial if anyone is interested. Love Dragon says, did Sam Darnold win MVP? Because I think it should have been the Seattle defense. He didn't. The running back got it. Yeah, DPD. No, Kenneth Walker III was named MVP. Now, I like Kenneth Walker III, and he was good. He's very, very good. I personally think Sam Darnold should have gotten it. And the thing about these MVP votes, sometimes I think they just base it purely on stats. and I don't even know what the stats are. I didn't even look at them. But Kenneth Walker, I think, was rushed for over 100 yards. I think he scored a touchdown or something, right? Or maybe he didn't, because that one receiver, 88, caught that one. Anyhow, I think Sam Darnold should have been the MVP. I think the defense has a good. If you could just do defense as a whole, I don't know if they'd do that. It's just like in Super Bowl 56 when the Rams won. I really think they should, because I think they have had co-MVPs before, and I really think it should have been Cooper Kupp. Another reason why I was sort of happy yesterday, but anyhow, I think it should have been Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. I think in Super Bowl 56 against the Bengals, Cooper Kupp definitely, just offensively took the offense on his shoulders and said, okay, boys, just get me the ball. And that's what Matthew Stafford did. And so Stafford did great too, but Cooper Kupp just got the ball and then yards after catch and just big play after big play. But Aaron Donald also kind of said, okay, I'm shutting this shit down. And he kind of took over in the fourth quarter especially, and just was sort of a one-man wrecking crew against the Cincinnati offense, and just was just shutting everything down. They couldn't get anywhere, and it was all Aaron Donald was just like the leader of the defense, and kind of said, okay, I'm done playing now. I'm shutting you down now, and so my thought was, okay, it's got to be a co-MVP. It's got to be Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. But the motherfuckers who do the voting, they just didn't listen to me, and they just gave it to Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp, again, very deserving of it. But I think it should have been co-MVP. It should have been Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald, because they both were so instrumental in their different ways. One on offense, one on defense. They both really took over the game. They took over. Cooper Kupp took over the offense, and Aaron Donald took over the defense. And that's, in my opinion, should have been co-MVP. Now for this, I don't know if it should have been co-MVP but I think Sam Darnold was the MVP. Even though statistically, maybe Walker had better stats. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the stats. But just from my eye test, from what I saw, the way Sam Darnold was getting shellacked, taking a beating, and it didn't get to him. Some quarterbacks, you can see they're ready to tap out, and Sam Darnold never did that, and he just kept at it. And at first all they were getting was field goals, and finally he got the big plays, and they got the touchdown. And but to me, Sam Darnold was the MVP. But I don't get a vote. I don't get a say. So, but it was, and not that Walker didn't deserve it. I mean, very deserving of it. The running game is so important, especially when your quarterback maybe isn't completing as many passes as he could or should, and your quarterback is getting a lot of pressure. So the running game is a big part of opening up your passing game and all that kind of stuff. So congratulations to Kenneth Walker. Yeah, well deserved, like Billy Kid says, well deserved. Just just as I was watching the game, I just felt like Sam Darnold was the most valuable player, but But Sam Darnold gets a ring, and I'm sure he's happy. Sandy Folt says maybe the Bills would have better luck next season since now they have a new head coach. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Robert Nicholas says Super Bowl was a little boring for me. I like more scoring. Also, very few flags were thrown, which was nice. Yeah, as I was watching the game, I knew there were going to be people complaining the game's not exciting enough because they're not scoring on every possession, and it should be a it should be a 55-50 barn burner, blowout. Not blowout, but it's for some people, it's just always high scoring. They don't want anything resembling defense to be allowed. And so I knew that people would be critical of that. But to me, I like football. I'm an old defensive player myself. I like defense. I appreciate defense. And I think defense should be given a lot of credit instead of being just criticized for making the game boring or something. DPD says, I'm not an expert on football. The only reason I was interested because of the Seahawks and Robert Kraft as a tool, and I was feeling lucky. Other than that, I could care less. I'm also a quick steady, I guess is what that was. Jolie says, in roller derby, there's 2 MVPs for every game. 1 jammer, 1 blocker. Each team picks who the MVP is on their opponent's team. They pick whoever they felt played the hardest against them. Well, that's cool. A fun fact. Yeah, fun fact from Jolie. Sandy Foles. So Puppy Bowl is much better. All right, Sandy. Sandy, they're promoting the Puppy Bowl. Okay, we get it. Love Dragon says, Jolie, roller derby. Now you're speaking my language. DVD, do they still have roller derby? Yeah. Yeah, Jolie's daughters are in leagues. Or a league, I guess. Jolie says, the new season is just starting up. Blood Dragon says, Jolie, like I said earlier, I canceled cable, so I can't watch roller derby. I don't know if it's on TV, Blood Dragon. This is like a local league that they play in. Anyhow. So yeah, it was good to see that in the overall scheme of things, like I said, I can't root for the Seahawks, but I would much rather see that woman there. Was it, I know her last name's Allen. Was it Jody or Joni or something? Allen. I would much rather see her hoisting the Lombardi Trophy than Robert Kraft, who I think is a scumbag for a lot of reasons. The least of which is that he's a fucking cheater. And I think between him and Belichick and Brady, they cheated their way to most of their Super Bowl victories. I really do believe that. And I think a lot of the people in the league believe it. That's why, Belichick's not going to get in the Hall of Fame, because everyone in the league knows what a fucking cheater he was. And Robert Kraft was, he's the owner of the team. And what is it? The fish starts to stink from the head down, or whatever it was. Joey says, Luck Dragon, Derby Date Night on YouTube plays live games all season. Oh, awesome. There's a link right there for you, Luck Dragon. I didn't know they were doing that, Jolie. YouTube plays live games all season. That's pretty cool. Jody Allen, there you go. Did I say Jody? I didn't say Judy. I think I might have said Jody. So yeah. Or Joni. Did I say Joni? Jody Allen, yeah. I'd much rather see her hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Easy for me to say. Than Robert Kraft, who just... And did you see it? That there was they did a camera shot into his VIP box, and he was all looking... This was like late in the game. He was all sad. And when they showed that, I just started laughing. I was kind of yelling at the TV like, oh, is Robert Kraft sad? Is he sad right now? Oh, poor Robert Kraft. And I was like, I don't give a fuck, Robert Kraft. Fuck you, Bob LeBlanc says, Pats are the Astros of football? I don't know. Oh, for cheating. Oh. Or the Astros are the Pats of baseball. Because I think the Pats were doing it sooner. But yeah, Astros are cheaters. That should be taken away. That should have been they should have been forced to forfeit that. And I think at least that first Super Bowl Rams Patriots that was Spygate. They should have forfeited that, and it should have been given to the Rams. Jolie, they play most of my daughter's games too, Love Dragon. They play for Naptown Roller Derby. Naptown Roller Derby. You're going to Naptown. Look out. Watch out. It's Naptown for you. Nola Carn's got to go. Hey, Kate. Okay, Nola, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you. Am I still coming through? Can you guys still hear me? Let's see. Testing. Yeah. So I guess I don't know. Does Bus and Brian come out on Mondays? I was going to see if in 16 minutes we could do a raid. I don't know if he comes on Mondays. I can't keep up with his schedule. You know, I can't keep up with everyone's schedule. Let's see. Maybe he's not on today. Yeah, I was just wondering if there's in about 15 minutes we could all 22 of us could raid someone, but it's funny. Do you guys ever watch Kim Java? She used to be really, really big. I mean, she made her channel and made her fame basically off of being a Tesla fangirl. And truth be known, I was a Tesla fanboy, and but even Kim Java, it seems like she is not so much a Tesla fanboy anymore. And now I'm just seeing there's a video of her looking at the new Slate truck. And those look pretty cool. I wouldn't mind getting one myself someday. It's an EV truck. Hal had it on a show the other day, and he was showing the same video that I had just watched, the Jay Leno one, with the red one that they had. Let's see here. I was just trying to see if something's coming up that we can jump to. In a little bit here. Well, anyhow. All right, well, we'll figure something out. Love Dragon says, I think Buzz Martin takes Mondays off. Yeah, I guess he takes off. He takes off one day. DPD, he probably was more upset he lost to a team owned by a woman. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Dope Dragon Sales defense was amazing. Yep. I pretty much, what I was saying. Jolie says, Naptown has been the nickname for Indianapolis since the 1920s. Indianapolis. There you go. There you go. Naptown. Now I feel like taking a nap. The power of suggestion. Billy Kid says, Maxwell pleads the fifth in-house Epstein probe. I knew bringing her in front of them was going to be a joke. What are we doing here, Maxwell? What are we doing here? Why are you wasting our time? We're just going to come here and plead the fifth? Why the fuck are you here? Aren't you the one that said you wanted to testify? Now you're just pleading the fifth? They should just immediately remand her back to like maximum security prison. None of this club fed bullshit. Love Dragon says, holy crap, I was here the whole time and I forgot to hit the like button. Yeah, hit that like button. We do have only 19 watching, but somehow we managed to get 31 likes. So that's pretty cool. You guys are acting like good Democrats with that big surplus. Jolie, just another fun fact. Yeah. Naptown. But it's kind of appropriate for, like, you know, roller derby because it's like, you know, I'm going to send you to Naptown. You know, like knock them out, you know. Lord Dragon, fun fact, Oakland, California has been nicknamed the town since the 60s. Really? They just call it the town? That doesn't sound like a nickname. Dave Ruler says, I saw a Cybertruck painted milk of magnesia pink. I threw up. Yeah, I see those all the time. DPD says, TJ, what was your cuisine of choice yesterday for the Super Bowl? I actually just made some hot dogs. Because I had hot dogs. I was thinking about ordering something, and I thought, well, I'm just going to eat the hot dogs up. So I had a couple of hot dogs. Okay, here's what I did yesterday. I really kind of, this is not going to sound good, probably. This is not going to sound healthy. I did wake up pretty late because I had worked the night before, and I got in really late. I ended up sleeping. Well, I kind of woke up in the morning, and I went back. I think like at 7 or 8 in the morning, but then I went back to sleep. You know how that is, and I think I fell asleep until, I don't know, I think until like 11:30 or something, or 12. And then I got up and I started watching TV or doing YouTube stuff because the game didn't start till 3:30. And then I didn't really make myself anything to eat for a while. I don't know, I was on YouTube or whatever. But then I went ahead and cooked myself a breakfast. So I made I can make a pretty good omelet. You know, make a cheese omelet. And I had hash browns and sausage and toast and coffee. That was sort of like my pre-Super Bowl meal. And then I didn't eat until, I think, after the game, actually. Or was it during the fourth quarter? I don't think I even ate until after the game. So I think I had a pre-Super Bowl meal, and then I had a post-Super Bowl meal. And I just made up some hot dogs, and then I had a Modelo. During the game, I just had a Coke. I didn't even have a Modelo. I just felt like, because I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I feel like. You know, I don't have to drink a Modelo during the game. I can have a Coke if I want. So I had a Coke. And then I think right after the game, I made the hot dogs. And I was still watching all of the post-game stuff and everything on TV. And so I had 2 hot dogs and some potato chips and a Modelo. And then a little later on, I had a hankering for some ice cream, and I didn't have any ice cream. But 7-Eleven is a 3-minute walk away. It's just down the corner. So I went to 7-Eleven, got a couple of those little pints of ice cream. And, you know, one for now, one for later. And I got mint cookies and cream was one of them. And the other one is some sort of chocolate chunk thing or something. But I didn't even eat the whole pint because I was kind of full. I just wanted to have some ice cream. So I ate about half of that. And I guess that was it. That was sort of like my Super Bowl junk. I mean, the breakfast is breakfast. It was, it's egg, I had eggs and stuff, omelet, but, and then the rest of it was just, hot dogs and potato chips and a Coke and a beer and then an ice cream. But that was my Super Bowl. That was my cuisine. Lord Draga says, I can't wait until Bill Clinton says, I am Bubba. Hey, Mr. Spock. Good to see Mr. Spock. Live long and prosper. Thanks for coming on in. Jolie says, it is a great roller derby team name, and their jerseys are formidable looking too. Barbara Nicholas says, Truck, you working today? I guess I'm Truck now. I don't know. I think I might take today off. I've got some stuff I got to do, and I might go get a haircut. Maybe, I don't know. I might just go get a haircut today. MJ Daniel from Washington State says, quote, I once asked, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? End quote. Donald J. Trump. Yep. I remember when he said that. Billy Kidd says, pizza was my Super Bowl menu. Yeah, I was thinking about ordering a pizza, but I just didn't feel like it. MJ Daniel, we made chicken sloppy joes. Look, Dragon says, everybody, I was watching the Super Bowl. Wait, I was watching the Super Bowl maybe with a Mexican? Not with, is a Mexican? I wish I would have took a video of them during the halftime show. David, when the 7-Eleven pizza, get real. I did not get 7-Eleven pizza. I did not. I don't know where you got that. I went to 7-Eleven to get ice cream. I did not get pizza. I have had their pizza, and it's crappy. It's really crappy. If that's what you're trying to say, then fine. But don't make it sound like I went and got it, because I didn't. DBD says, as long as you enjoyed yourself, that's all that matters. Barbara Nicholas says, Jake Tapper is on right now and not a mention of a found body. And Anna Moore says, Maxwell wants to be pardoned by the pedophile. Yeah, and that was in my intro also. It's clear what her intention was. That's what Representative, I can't remember her name, but she's from New Mexico. But that's what that representative was saying, that it's quite evident that she's just there to beg for clemency, as it was stated in the intro, from Trump. And that's what her attorney was doing. Mr. Spock, per build guy might need a trim. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to come or not. Well, Dragon says, if you're willing to wait at 7-Eleven, we'll make you a pizza on the spot. It's better than Little Caesars. I know that they do that. Yeah, I do know that. I've seen them do it. I don't think it's better than Little Caesars. I've had both. I think Little Caesars is better than 7-Eleven. I've had the 7-Eleven pieces like fresh out of the oven or whatever, and I still think Little Caesars is better. Not that Little Caesars is all that great, but I think it's better than 7-Eleven. Tim Farrell, the Farrell one's here, says, I'm late, Bad Bunny, mission accomplished. Yeah, mission accomplished. Did a great show and promoted, I think, a message of love over hate. Mr. Spock, 7-Eleven Big Gulp. Yep, they have big gulps. Walter Makarovich is here. Hey, Walter, good to see you. Hi, Trucker John. Did you happen to see Senator Ossoff's speech in Atlanta over the weekend? Very powerful and right on message. I saw clips of it, and it was very powerful. John Ossoff is going to run for president someday. I don't know if he will in 2028 or not, But someday he's going to run for president, and who knows? He might just win someday. Someday, because he's still pretty young, so it's not like he has to run in 2028. I guess he's up for re-election in this one in 2026. That doesn't mean he can't run for president, you know. But I could see him running for president. I'm trying to remember the clips I saw. I think he was pretty much calling Trump out for being a Nazi. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Sandy Foltz, the NFL needs to make better choices for their singers and performers on the halftime shows. Well, you know what, Sandy? I think they've done a pretty good job of mixing it up. Because they've had country stars, they've had rock stars, they've had R&B stars, I guess, you know, and they've had, now they've got the Spanish language guy. I think they do a pretty good job of mixing it up. You know, we've had Prince and Michael Jackson and Springsteen and The Who, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Bruno Mars, you know, I mean, Beyonce, I think Shania Twain one year. I mean, it can't be Shania Twain every year. Nothing against Shania Twain. It can't be Shania Twain every year, okay? I think they are doing a good job of mixing it up. DPD says, Ossoff hit it out of the ballpark. His speech, it was very powerful. Barbara Nicholas says, I wonder if today would have been a good day for work with people leaving Vegas after Super Bowl. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Every day's a good day in Vegas. In fact, I don't even think the Super Bowl is even a factor of people coming here. You know, I worked Friday and Saturday, and, you know, it was actually kind of, I mean, it was busy. I was busy. I got, I think 12 rides and 10 rides and working just, I think Saturday I only worked like, I don't know, 5 hours or something. I still got 10 rides. But it seemed, just judging by my, you know, the eyeball test, it seemed a little slow. It seemed like there were fewer people than a typical Saturday. So I don't think this, everyone has this thing that they think everyone comes here for the Super Bowl. But you can, nowadays, like you were doing, DPD, you were betting, or DPD, I guess that wasn't DPD asked the question, but DPD was betting at home on DraftKings. So, you know, people don't need to rush here for the Super Bowl like maybe the old days. Those are old times. Now, March Madness is one thing that people do come here, even though you could probably bet, I'm sure, on DraftKings or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, can you? But because it's college, but I guess you can. I don't really do all that much betting, so I don't know. But March Madness has been pretty big, and we'll see how it is this March, if it's still going to be, how big it will be, you know, under the current political climate and economic climate and everything. But traditionally, March Madness is really big. And in my last few years of doing rideshare, I've noticed March Madness is really, you can just tell the difference in the street traffic and, you know, and people getting rides and stuff. The Super Bowl didn't really factor into that at all. Blood Dragon says the Super Bowl needs to be played indoors or at nighttime. It makes way better halftime shows. I don't know why that has anything to do with anything. Yesterday's show is an outdoor stadium, technically, I guess, and I think the sun was just going down, sort of dusk time or whatever, but it seemed perfectly fine to me. So I don't know what your gripe is about that. Yeah, Fancy says this was the halftime show with the most views ever. Yep. Mr. Spock, Tim Pool was saying his band should have been the halftime show. Oh yeah, that would have went over really well. MJ Daniel says looks like Turning Point lost their whole audience for their joke halftime show because of licensing restrictions. Walter Bukovich says Trucker John, that wasn't you streaking across the field. No, I'm not even anywhere near there. I'm in Las Vegas. The game was in San Francisco, or Palo Alto, I guess. Look, Dragon, I live in the Bay Area. I have been watching the local news, and there are no reports about ICE at the Super Bowl. Yay. Yeah, I remember hearing, going into it, that there were reports that they were supposed to go there, and maybe for once someone made a wise decision that would probably not look too good. But I don't know if they even care about that shit. But DPD says there's a reason why Baskin Robbins has 31 flavors. Hello, welcome to the real world. Just like in life, we all come in different shapes and colors. Imagine if we all were the same. What a boring world it would be. Well, I added the B part. Oh, there it is. Would be down there. Yeah, you're right, DPD. You're absolutely right. It would be vanilla. It would be a very vanilla world, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Nothing against vanilla. Every now and then, I like some vanilla. But the funny thing is, I really like vanilla when I pour a little chocolate syrup on top of it. You know what I mean? With some whipped cream and some nuts and some cherry on top. Make myself a hot fudge sundae. I'm not sure if there's an analogy in there or not, but now I want a hot fudge sundae. MJ Daniel, okay, I see that their show was not on Twitter at all. What a joke. What show was not on Twitter? What did I miss? I don't know whose show was not on Twitter, but you're talking about the TPUSA thing? TPUSA? Brought to you by TPUSA? MJ Daniel, a little DQ soft serve vanilla is good sometimes. Yeah. But I've always been a fan of the chocolate vanilla swirl, where you can get both chocolate and vanilla. I've always been a fan of that. Anyhow. All right, guys. I think I'm getting some real low energy. This coffee didn't do the trick today. I don't know. I think I'm about ready to call it a day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I guess we'll just do 11 o'clock. I don't know if I should do a 9. Should I do a 9er? 9er? What's better, 9 or 11? I know some of you like 9 better, some like 11 better. So, Barbara Nicholas Hot Fudge Sundae is my favorite. Yeah, I like Hot Fudge Sundaes. Anamore says the best halftime show I saw was a collaboration between Bruno Mars, Beyonce, and Coldplay. Yeah, that was just a few years ago, and that was a really good one. I really liked that one too. And I'm not really a Bruno Mars fan or a Beyonce fan. I do like Coldplay, But it was a really great show. See, it's just like Bad Bunny. I'm not a Bad Bunny fan, but he put on a really great show. And I'm not a Bruno Mars. I don't really like Bruno Mars, but I thought he was great. And Beyonce, and the way they put the songs together, and all the costuming and staging and the performances were great. Mad Max here, Slava Ukraini to Mad Mac. Love Dragon says, yesterday's halftime show was the most watched ever, beating out Kendrick Lamar from last year. And next year will probably be even more views. Yeah, I wonder who they're going to get for next year. Mad Max. Seahawks, baby. Yeah, Mad Max is happy. All the Seahawks fans, congratulations. You guys deserve it. You earned it. You know? That doesn't mean I have to like you or, like the team. Doesn't mean I have to like the Seahawks. I don't. I'm not a fan of the Seahawks, but congratulations. They deserve all the praise and the glory, and they've earned the right to be called the best. They are the champions, and they will be the reigning champions all the way until next year, until next Super Bowl. So they earned it. They deserve it. Congratulations to the Seahawks organizations, and to all their fans across the country and across the world, apparently. I don't know. MJ Daniels said the halftime show was on because of the live. Oh, you're talking about the TPSUSA thing? Robert Perez is here, says, you may die from diabetes, John, but at least you will die with a smile on your face and a great taste in your mouth with that ice cream and all of its fixes. Yeah, well, that's kind of the way I look at it, actually. Mad Mac, I just got my internet fixed. We had an outage this morning. Well, that's not getting off to a good start there. MJ Dania, Dominic D for sure, but Seattle will be looking for a new offensive coordinator. Yeah, he's going to go, I think, to the Raiders, right down here. I think the Raiders are getting them. So, I'm not a Raiders fan, and I've actually been a Raider hater for most of my life. I think mainly because of Al Davis. I never liked Al Davis. He was Trumpian before Trumpian was Trumpian. He's really the sleazy sleazeball of the guy, Al Davis was. And so I've never liked him basically because of that. And I didn't like that they moved down to LA and encroached on my area of the Ram territory. But now, since I've been living here for a few years, I do find myself kind of rooting for the Raiders. They're not my favorite team, okay? I'm allowed, okay, the Rams are my favorite team, but I'm allowed to root for other teams. It doesn't affect my Rams, okay, guys? I'm allowed to do that. And so I do find myself kind of rooting for the Raiders a little bit, just because they're the home team where I live now. And, I think it's kind of natural. That's kind of what happens. That's how most people, that's how their favorite team becomes their favorite team. It's usually because that's the team where they grew up around. Now I know there are some people that for some reason just will hate the team that they grow around, because everyone likes it, that team, and so that is a turnoff to them. So then to rebel against that, they'll root for some other team across the other side of the country. I've always not really. I kind of understand it because I just explained it, but I still. I guess I'm not a rebel. I guess I'm not like in that way. I grew up liking the Rams just because that was the team that I saw on TV all the time on the news back in the 60s. I just saw Roman Gabriel and Merlin Olsen and Rosie Greer, and all these guys, and so that's the team I started watching. The same way with the Dodgers. I just saw Don Drysdale and Sandy Koufax and Willie Davis and Wes Parker and all these guys, and so that's the team I started watching, and so they've been my favorite teams ever since. I don't really change teams. Some people, though, like I say, they don't want to like the team that everyone around them is liking, so they'll pick some team that's 3,000 miles away, which I think is silly. But anyhow, so I do find myself kind of rooting for the Raiders because I certainly don't like really any of the teams in their division. I don't like the Broncos. I don't like the Chiefs. The only other team I really like is the Chargers, probably. So, but you know, between that division and that division, I mean, I like the Chargers, but I kind of root for the Raiders. So I think, but I guess what I'm trying to get to is that it would be nice if this new coach from Seattle, the OC, could make a difference. And if they could get, was it Mendoza? The Heisman Trophy winner who just won the national championship for his team. They have a real good shot at getting him. If they could get him, plus this new coach, and then maybe get some fucking linemen for the new quarterback, maybe they'll win a handful of games. That'd be nice. And I'm allowed to do that, even if I'm a Rams fan. I'm allowed to kind of want the Raiders to win a few games, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with the Rams, you know. I'm allowed, guys. Don't try to tell me otherwise, or I'll just ban you from the channel. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Tim Farrell, Green Day. Yeah, Green Day was awesome. I like Green Day. Did Daniel try to get the boss for one more Super Bowl while he is still playing? Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Look, Dragon, it says, I used to go to Sam I Am concerts at the Gilman Theater at Berkeley before they changed their name to Green Day. That's pretty cool. Mad Max says, just like there are maggots that refuse to see the truth, there are people that refuse to acknowledge the greatness that is the Seahawks. Laughing out loud. I am the original football fan, but the Hawks are great. Look, Dragon, the Raiders really messed up. They should have built their stadium like the Sphere. Oh yeah, that would. Yeah, just go ahead and spend a few $1 billion more doing that. This Allegiant Stadium is a beautiful stadium, okay? It's just, you know, come off of it. Robert Perez says, are they saying that you weren't a Raider fan when Marcus Allen and LA Raiders won the... Are you saying... No, I was not. I was not a Raiders fan. Ever. I've never been a Raiders fan. Now, I've admired a lot of their players, like Marcus Allen. I like Marcus Allen. He's a USC Trojan. I was always a USC Trojan fan as a kid growing up. I thought Howie Long was one of the greatest defensive linemen ever that I've ever seen. You know, they've had great teams, great players. I like John Madden, who's a great coach, but I've never been a Raider fan. Never, ever. Now in that Super Bowl, I might have been rooting for them. I don't even remember who they played. You know, because. Or, you know, you kind of pick a team usually. Like this year, I couldn't really pick a team because I don't like the Patriots. And I can't really root for the Seahawks just because of the divisional thing. But I don't even remember who they played that year, to tell the truth. So I might have been rooting for them just for that one game or whatever. But no, I was never a Raiders fan. Never, ever. Never, ever have been. Mad Max says, my favorite American football team is the Seahawks. My second favorite American football team is anyone playing the Rams. Ha ha, just joking, TJ. Yeah, that's the old joke. It's always been, who's my two favorite teams are the Rams and whoever's playing the Niners. That you know, and you can do that. You can fill in the blanks for those, for whatever team you're for. Yeah, Jolie, reminding everyone we have channel memberships. They start at $1.99 a month. Great way to support the show. We have Super Chats, which today we hit 1 of 5 on the goal. And you can also support the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing, and that don't cost you a dime. So I really expect everyone to be liking, subscribing, and sharing. So if you could hit if you haven't already, and I know most of you probably have that are in here, but hit that subscribe button or share the show and give others the chance to have the same opportunities that you guys have had of being able to subscribe, having the honor and distinct pleasure of being able to subscribe to the show. You can also buy me a coffee. There's a link for that, and that's ways you can also contribute to the show. And then there's a PayPal account also. And then there's the links right there. Alvin Stube, always late. Hey, Alvin, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you. Like Dragon Charles Woodson is my dude. Sandy Foltz, are you coming on Tuesday? Yeah, I was just discussing that, Sandy. I was just trying to figure out what time I should come on. Because 9 o'clock is just kind of early. I mean, especially now that I'm doing these intros. The intros really, they take me like 2 hours to prepare, so I don't know if I want to get up at 7. So I guess we'll just do 11. I don't know. Just be on the lookout. I'll be on tomorrow sometime, either 9 or 11. I don't know. I'm not sure which. Pacific time. Barbara Nicholas says, Buffalo Bills' new stadium is being built. It should have been a closed one in this area, but it's not. Crazy expensive. Yeah, I don't understand why teams, other than it being money, but these are all billionaire owners anyhow. And they always get the taxpayers to pony up some of the money. It's very rarely 100%, but they'll pony up some of the money. Like for the new A's Stadium here, the taxpayers are going to be on the hook for, I think it's like, I say only, I think it's only like $300 million. It's a lot of money. But the stadium, I think, is proposed to be, I think, a $2 billion stadium or something like that. So, so the rest of that financing is going to come from the ownership group and partners and financial partners and stuff, I believe. But anyhow, but yeah, a cold weather places like Buffalo, I don't know why they don't make it enclosed. If nothing, if for no other reason, just for the sake of the fans. Look, I'm 65. There's no way. If I live in Buffalo, there's no fucking way I'm going to a game in the middle of winter. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Fuck that noise. If they had a nice enclosed stadium, then I probably would want to go. Luck Dragon says, Trucker John, I share your opening videos with my friends all the time. Unfortunately, financially, that is... Hey, Luck Dragon, I appreciate you so much. Sharing the show, I appreciate that even more so than any financial or contribution. So, man, sharing the show is awesome. Sharing the show is great. And I love you for that. I love you for sharing the show, man. Mad Max says, we are so glad to be gifted Cooper Kupp from the Rams too. He is bloody awesome. And that when Cooper Kupp was making those catches yesterday, I'm like going, yes, Cooper. I was like, I was really happy. I'm happy for Cooper. We all love Cooper still down here in LA, or I'm in, wherever I'm at. But we all love Cooper, and so we want the best for him. And so it was good to see that he got another ring. He got his second Super Bowl ring, and I just wish he would have been able to catch a touchdown. But he did have 6 or 7 catches, key catches, the big time, big moments. Kept the chains going, kept them going. So, yeah, good for Cooper Kupp. Glad to see he had a good game in the biggest game of the year. DBD says, TJ, hope you make your quote today. Everyone enjoy the rest of the day. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be working today. I think I might take the day off. And so I might do an early show tomorrow. I might do a 9 a.m. show tomorrow. But thanks for being here, DPD. Always good to see you. Always good to have you in the chat room. Love Dragon says, did Cooper Kupp play with Detroit after the Rams? No. He went straight to Seattle. Barbara Nicholas, $2.2 billion for our stadium. Yeah. That's about what the Allegiant Stadium cost, I think. I think that was a $2 billion stadium. Or maybe it was 3. Might have been 3. And that was, it's been a few years now since they finished it. Blood Dragon, your opening videos are 1 of 1. I don't know what that means. Anyhow. All right. Yeah, come on. We gotta wrap this up, Trucker John. I'm not feeling too well either. Yeah, I think I kind of overdid it yesterday at the Super Bowl. I wasn't just eating hot dogs and shit. I was doing, man, the party I went to was off the hook, man. We're like snorting blow off of chicks' stomachs and, that kind of thing. And just doing shots. And, oh, man, I think I even ate the worm a few times. I don't know, man. I swallowed the worm or whatever they're calling it. I'm not feeling so great. So come on, Trucker John. We gotta, let's just put this one to bed so I can go to bed. I'm ready to go. Nighty-night. I'm ready to go to Naptown. Yeah, I like that. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on. Naptown. Welcome to Naptown, my little friend. Anyhow, all right. We'll see you guys. Yeah, let's call it too. I'm also kind of dragging my ass. We had a big Super Bowl party over at the Purple Beard Society, and but we were mainly just a lot of hot toddies, and you can really, how many hot toddies can you drink? And then it's like, whoa, I better slow down on the hot toddies. So, and there were some hot toddies, let me tell you. No, just kidding. But yeah, so thanks for being here, guys. I just wanted to chime in real quick and say hi. And we'll see you tomorrow. Purple Power. Purple Power. Purple Power. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you on the next one. All right, that's those dudes. Thanks for chiming on in. I do appreciate you guys. Again, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I do appreciate you. So I guess all we got to do now is the words of wisdom. Let's see how this goes. Make sure you guys get your pen, your pad. Write this down. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, so words of wisdom. Here's the first part of it. Right.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I try to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free.
So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so
So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road. Just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret. It'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life. Everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot. You're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over, I'm out of here, folks. Bye.